Quarter-final number 2 here in Prague, and Stephen Bunting, a former world champion, takes on the reigning players champion Daryl Gurney. We know that Keegan Brown, the former world youth champ, is through to the semis and awaits the winner. If the bullet, Stephen Bunting, can overcome Super Chin, then we are guaranteed an unseeded player, someone who's come through a qualifier through to the final of the inaugural Czech Darts Open. Gurney is the number 4 seed. He has already won on the European Tour this year, and if you're looking for somebody who might be able to stop the Diamond Ian White in the other half of the draw, maybe the most likely is the man who made the Premier League finals night, is the reigning players champ, has won the World Grand Prix and indeed won a European Tour in 2019. But is Neil Diamond stronger than Diamond White? May not matter, because the bullet and Gurney have been knocking lumps out of each other on the Euro Tour for the last year. This is the 4th time they've met. 2 wins for Gurney, 1 win for Bunting, all on final days of tournaments, and a couple of them pretty close.
First leg, Stevenson for first. Game on!
Chris Murphy is in the comms box for this one. It is the bullet who throws first against Super Chin.
Yes, and it was Stephen Bunting who came closest to defeating Daryl Gurney and denying him that first European Tour crown at the German Darts Championship earlier this year. Met at this stage, and it went all the way down to a last leg decider. So Gurney will be fully aware of what Stephen can do on a dartboard, and he's starting to do it almost as often as he used to of late.
Yeah, it's been a mixed bag for Bunting this weekend. Great win against Peter Wright. He was good against Robert Thornton. Chris Dobie, it was a bit of a struggle, but he got over the line this afternoon.
Yeah, 6-3, 6-4, 6-5.
85.
He'll want to carry on in that kind of trajectory, or he'll find himself on the wrong end of this match. As for Daryl Gurney, a 6-4 success against Willie O'Connor yesterday. Looked to be coasting to victory, but the Magpie
57.
came back at him, and then it was a bit of a breeze against Jermaine Watermainer this afternoon.
Yeah, well, that's 7 wins out of 7 for Gurney against Jermaine Watermainer, but his head-to-head record with Bunting, he's lost more games than he's won. So you wouldn't have thought there'd be any psychological edge in that regard.
Solid start for Stephen. Down to 68 after a dozen darts thrown.
60.
Spent all weekend praising the players for their ability to perform in this heat. I'll tell you what, the fans haven't stopped, have they?
They've enjoyed it. And Stephen Bunting will have enjoyed that. Nice settler. Does it set him up en route to the semi-finals?
58.
And a meeting with an inspired Keegan Brown. What a weekend he's had. What a season he's having.
It's quite the run from the needle.
Paul Nicholson made the point that Brown had to qualify for this event and then win a match to put himself in the provisional places, and those wins were against players that he would expect to beat. But what he's done since then is quite remarkable to secure his match play spot, beating Michael van Gerwen, beating Danny Noppert this afternoon, and then
94.
That performance against Mensa Siljevic was absolutely superb, because the Gentler was near the top of his game as well.
Well, yeah, he's come here trying to qualify for the World Match Play, and in so doing, he's beaten the man who'll be the favourite for the World Match Play. Last year's beaten finalists for the World Match Play, and Danny Noppert, who is a guy who is already assured of his place because of the excellence he's produced over the...
78.
So it's a pretty good sign for Keegan going to Blackpool.
No need for this pair to worry about that, but Daryl Gurney was worrying that he wouldn't be on a finish until he found that cover shot.
Super Chin fan there in the pink.
100. Daryl, you require 157.
He might be on his feet in a moment. The bullet has a chance here
97.
to bag an early break.
Stephen, you require 130.
2 attempts at treble 20. The second of which has become much more difficult than the first.
Can't get there.
90.
Pins the ball to leave himself tops if there's a slip. And Gurney picks over on the left-hand side. His dart kicks down, which does him a favour on this occasion.
Game Sean
So he can just go straight over the top of it into double top.
The next Stephen
For one apiece.
First, game on. One run of 40.
Well, there's not just Daryl Gurney fans in the crowd.
There's evidently one person singing Stephen Bunting. He wasn't exactly joined it by many more voices.
Yeah. It's always a little ambition, isn't it? You go to a match and you're going to start a chant and then nobody joins in. Spoken from experience.
Yeah.
One run of 40.
I once tried cheering for Paul Nicholson at a darts tournament, and I was booed out of the venue.
100.
Well, Bunting is scoring very well, and he scored very well at the start of his game with Chris Dobie, but missed a lot of doubles, and then as the game went on, the doubling barely got any better, but the scoring did fade away.
85.
This sort of
Stephen, you
way that he
require
started
81.
the match, making a big statement, he needs to capitalise on it. We'll just set this up with Gurney not on a
49.
finish.
But it does allow Daryl Gurney to pile on the pressure. A couple of trebles will do it.
100. Stephen, you require 32.
And he pinned this first dart in the opening leg. Pins it first dart in this third leg. And this is a very, very encouraging start from the bullet. It has not been enormously regular that we've seen Stephen Bunting piling in ton plus averages this year. We have seen some. In fact, we saw one enormous display on the Pro Tour, averaging 110 in a 6-0 whitewash of James Richardson. But it's been very up and down.
35.
You know, he's as likely to average in the low 80s as he is to average over a ton. So you're never really quite sure what you're going to get with Stephen Bunting. Made a final on the tour this year. A couple of hundred averages on that day. In fact, 3. But in the semis and the final, he only averaged in sort of 88, 89. It's
45.
very, very up and down.
Yeah, that 110 average you mentioned is the highest recorded for Stephen Bunting. But it's only recently that we've been able to record all of the averages from the floor events.
40.
Contrasting
100. Daryl, you require
stances between this
170.
pair. Bunting stands right over to the right. It'd be interesting to see him play a match with Andrew Gilding, wouldn't it? They could throw at the same time.
Yeah, good thing.
5.
Rapid Ricky Evans there. Good mate of Bunting. I think they might be rooming together. Jim Walker just sat behind him. He's basically their carer for the weekend.
Yeah, Kevin Garcia was in shot as well then.
Yeah, he's been practicing with Kevin Garcia. Stephen Bunting was late as Gurney looks at tops.
45.
Not going to get it this time, but he will have more opportunities.
Daryl did confirm after the win against Watermena that the darts he is using are just a different colour.
Ah, right, okay.
40.
He actually on his Twitch from the gold one 5 minutes before he took to the stage this afternoon.
Well, there was a nervous glance there, wasn't there, to see if he could bust it, but he can't with Bunting on a finish. And it might have been a little distraction.
But it suggested he didn't look comfortable, he didn't feel comfortable going for double 5, and it kind of showed. He might be feeling less comfortable now because the bullet He's looking at double eights to complete a big three-figure out. Now does Gurney take aim at double five again? Does he think about splitting? Going for it, and he finds it.
It's almost as if it's more likely to go in when you're completely clear in your mind what you want to do. Came to the board knowing he wants a double five. The previous one, he's like, oh, do I bust it? What should I do? Don't really fancy it. And he didn't really threaten it.
There are one or two players when they get in that kind of position that they will just take a step back and kind of restart the shot.
Well, I mean, Stephen Bunting did it match start for Chris Dobie. Stepped back, gave himself a moment, and hit double two after a pretty ropey effort at the previous double.
85.
Daniel Larsson. All the dartists enjoying the darts this evening. Wonder if Michael van Gerwen's down there.
Not spotted him.
Peter Wright.
I think you'd struggle to spot him amongst all the wigs. First maximum of this contest.
Yes, it's Bunting's 9th of the event. Daryl Gurney's left himself on a checkout.
100. Daryl will require 161.
But it's not one he's going to check out.
96. Stephen, you require 76.
That leaves tops.
56.
Well, I think for a moment, Bunting thought it might have crept in. But he could fall behind here.
Well, Daryl's eventually left his favourite double.
49.
He's going for 25 for two at double top.
20.
Now the bullet just going to take his time. He's wiping his hands, cooling himself down, calming himself down. Double 10, well, he's basically stood next to it, isn't he? Can he find double five? He does. He leads again.
6 leg down to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, it's hard work, isn't it, Stephen?
Well, I'm trying to remember where it was. Where Gary Anderson was literally having problems with his glasses steaming up during a tournament. Kept messing with them.
Wasn't the Grand Slam final, was it?
No, he seemed to be quite aware of what was going on in the Grand Slam final, as I recall. But he genuinely had issues with his glasses steaming up. It wouldn't be surprising if Stephen Bunting had similar here, because I cannot stress to you how much of a sweatbox this place is.
Yep, well, as we've seen on the crowd shots, many of the fans have got fans. And the first thing that most players have said when they've come off the stage is, I've never played in conditions as hot as that.
Despite that, it's not stopped some excellence this weekend. Obviously, the 9 darts are huge checkouts all over the place.
Yeah, some massive averages. Glenn Durrant had 110 on opening day. Keegan Brown, we've just seen, well into the hundreds.
Jamie Hughes averaged almost 103 this afternoon. We will see him next up against Ian White, the number 2 seed. Nice and high here.
99.
And he leaves himself double top. Bunting scrambling just to leave a finish of any kind.
Well, has to stay straight to do so. Now he's found the treble, it'll be a better one. It's a nice first start finish here, would suit Daryl Gurney. That's what he's done, because in a lot of the legs we've seen the players kind of falling over the line.
Well, my concern for Stephen Bunting right now would be this is following the pattern of the Chris Dobie game, where he started very, very well, and then he had some poor legs in the scoring, and his average plummeted by 10-15 points, and that's where we're at right now. Darryl Gurney has been going along at about 92 average all the way through this. Bunting has dropped from well over 100 to even below Darryl Gurney at the moment. And in the end, it only took some really gutsy shots. There was a Shanghai finish and some gutsy stuff at the end that got Bunting over the line. He does not want to be in that position. He has to start turning it on like this now.
The last start looked nonchalant from Stephen Bunting there. He just knew it was going in. He's on 181 after 6. He's twice been on 141 after 6 this weekend.
100.
It's just what the doctor ordered, this leg. Just when Bunting had seemed to be struggling and lost his range on the treble 20, he goes and leaves himself 81 after 9.
Stephen require 81.
Nice bit of room for Stephen Bunting to tidy this up.
49.
The luxury of not having to go for the ball at the end of that combination.
Little bemused smirk there from Gurney. Hasn't hit a maximum yet, and he is a big 180 hitter. That first dart is not landing where he wants it.
That's not where Stephen wanted it. He's had to shuffle across. Oh, he's blocked it. Can he find one through the barricades? He can't. Now Darryl Gurney, well, if he finds the big number, he will have to go for the ball at the end of the combination. Could find treble 12. Hasn't found the big number.
27. Stephen requires 16.
Well, the second dart was a mistake. The last dart was lazy.
Was he throwing in the towel on this leg? Because Bunting's blocked himself in again here.
He can barely go any further right. Oh, what a wonder dart that is! Stephen Bunting has hit double 8, stood somewhere potentially over the national border of the Czech Republic.
Really was a brilliant dart, well worked out. I mean, if he is going to have to move, I guess a
57.
step to the right will suit Stephen. Well, he already stands somewhere close to the national border, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, but I mean, if he'd gone any further right, he was in danger of having to go through Ross Bray to get to that double 8.
100.
But ultimately, that one ridiculous dart from way out over on the right-hand side, it may well prove to be the key point in this game.
134.
Still never been more than a leg between the pair as we enter the 8th.
Okay, using the bullseye.
105.
Another treble with that last dart would have got into a finish. That's why he went to the bull there. A lot of players use 18s.
96.
Well, there might be a chance here for Bunting to pull 2 clear, because Gurney has only left a 3-figure check out. 114, a particularly difficult one.
114.
Not going to go Shanghai 19s. That's a ridiculous way to go. You go the sensible way to leave tops.
94.
The bullets with a 2-darter in front of him, and the chance not only to lead by 2 clear legs, but to move within 1 of the win.
Game shot in the 8th leg.
And the Bunting squawk of celebration meets that 100 checkout. He is one leg away. Curiously, these guys, it is their 11th meeting. If you take the first two out, which are back in 2012 when they played in the BDO, and their first meeting at the PDC back in Crawley, it just goes
100.
Win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, all the way through. And to be honest, it's Bunting's turn to win one. The pattern may go on.
119.
There you see, it's not been electric, but it has been pretty consistent. Darryl Gurney's average has barely deviated at all through this game. It's been at around about 91, 92. There you see. Stephen Bunting's has been way over 100. It was down in the 80s for a while. It's fluctuated. But the Bullet might be about to book his place in a Euro Tour semi-final for the first time in many, many months. It would be the European match play last summer. So we're looking at nearly a year since the Bullet made the semis of a European Tour event.
It was the tournament that was a precursor to the World Match Play, so it would have been
the corresponding one.
Yes. And if Bunting, of course, does get this leg won and the match, then we will have a new finalist on the Euro Tour.
60.
We will, guaranteed. However, there is a way to go yet. Darryl Gurney, well, he's not hit a single 180 in this tie. And if you, Darryl Gurney playing in any conditions, if you're going to play for 10 legs, you expect him to hit one or two of them.
What about a 160 to win it? It's on. It's not in, but he will hope to be back because Darryl Gurney has not been threatening this kind of thing.
And he doesn't threaten here. So the Bullet
69.
to set up a semi-final shootout with Keegan Brown. It's there, and the former world champ is through. The Bullet, Stephen Bunting, will face Keegan Brown for a spot in the final of the Czech Darts Open. Neither man has made a final on a European tour before. It has been a long while since the Bullet has claimed a PDC title. The same goes for Keegan, but one of them has a real chance of ending their wait here in Prague tonight.
Yes, as it leaves the stage, Darryl Gurney, everybody. Thank you, Darryl. Well, our winner is no stranger to a semi-final, playing in the form of, one could say, the best form so far this year. I mean, it's looks so relaxed up there, into another semi-final.
Yeah, no, thanks for the crowd. They pulled me through that. I feel like SpongeBob SquarePants at the minute because I'm absolutely dripping.
Yeah, it is very warm, but, you know, it's warm for both players, so we can't keep using it as an excuse, and you certainly don't need one the way you played. You seem to be nice and controlled, not losing your temper when it doesn't quite work, coming back nice and composed. Has there been any change in your play, or have you had to think a little bit more about it in these conditions?
I've been practicing, to be honest. Over the last few years, I've been really lazy, but the last few weeks, I've put the hours in, and it's showing in. You know, hopefully, I know I'm going to continue the practice, and hopefully it keeps bringing the results.
Well, you're playing Keegan Brown in our first semi-final. We're really looking forward to that. Our winner and into semi-final number one, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Bunting.